A very good afternoon. It is 1 p.m. here in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, and you're just in time for the Ambassador, where we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. I am your Ambassador, Nancy Muthoni. Good evening. At the United Nations, senior officials are raising the alarm over South Sudan's fragile peace deal. The Security Council has been warned that the country is facing an erosion of hard-won progress, marked by rising political tensions, subnational violence, and delays in implementing the 2018 revitalized peace agreement. UN Assistant Secretary General for African Martha Amer cautioned that without urgent action and renewed dialogue, South Sudan risks sliding back into armed conflict, a setback that could destabilize not only the country but the wider region. Susan Nganga reports.
At the United Nations headquarters in New York, concerns are growing over South Sudan's fragile peace process. Briefing the Security Council, UN Assistant Secretary General for Africa, Martha Pobi, warned that progress made since the 2018 peace deal is starting to slip away. She pointed to rising violence and delays in carrying out key parts of the agreement.
The international community, including the United Nations, African Union, and the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, have repeatedly called for a cessation of hostilities, de-escalation, and return to dialogue. These calls, however, have not yielded any concrete response. Instead, a pattern of violations and unilateral actions persist and continues to undermine the ability of the Government of National Unity to implement the agreement. We call on the parties to unblock the current political deadlock by fully recommitting to the cessation of hostilities agreement, releasing the political detainees, engaging in direct high-level dialogue, and implementing an inclusive peace process, particularly on key issues such as the transitional security arrangements, transitional justice, constitution making, and elections.
Also speaking at the meeting, George Owino, the interim head of the peace monitoring body, said that without urgent steps, the country could lose all gains made so far and even risk a return to war.
The current situation and trajectory of the country, if not urgently addressed, risks to reverse all that has been gained and may lead to a collapse of the axis, which could return the country back to an armed conflict. RJMF and its partners, the African Union Mission in South Sudan, the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, and the United Nations Mission in South Sudan, UNMISS, have repeatedly called for constructive dialogue, de-escalation of tensions, address the issues of detainees, and return to full and inclusive implementation of the R-Axis.
South Sudan's representative, Ambassador Sabino Nyawela, told the Council his government supports the United Nations mission. He said any issue with UN operations are due to security concerns or miscommunication, not intentional obstruction.
South Sudan remains committed to ensuring that any obstacles, real or perceived, to UNMISS operations are addressed in good faith and without delay. We confirm that presence of any such situations could either be attributed to our efforts to ensuring safety of the mission's assets and/or personnel, or they are merely due to lack of information sharing or the capacity of the individuals involved. It is never a policy of the government of the Republic of South Sudan to hinder UNMISS mandate.
The 2018 peace agreement was meant to lead South Sudan through a nearly 4-year transition. But with delays and growing tensions, the Security Council now faces tough questions about how to stop the country from sliding back into conflict. Susan Nganga, GBS News, South Sudan.
Tourism in Las Vegas is slumping this summer, with resorts and convention centers reporting fewer visitors compared to last year, especially from abroad. And some officials are blaming the Trump administration's tariffs and immigration policies for the decline. The city, known for lavish shows, endless buffets, and round-the-clock gambling, welcomed just under 3.1 million tourists in June, an 11% drop compared to the same time in 2024. There were 13% fewer international travelers, and hotel occupancy fell by about 15%, according to data from the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority.
International travel is way down. People are not coming to the United States. We have a rather large market with the Canadians. It's gone from, a faucet to a drip. Same thing in Mexico. We have a number of very high rollers that come in from Mexico that aren't so keen on coming in right now. Also, the economy is constricting, and people are a little more wary of spending their disposable dollars when there's tremendous uncertainty in the economy.
COVID ended and business went way, way up because everybody was tired of being cooped up. They got out of their house, they had COVID money, and they just spent like crazy. Since then, it's been gradually moving down a little bit, but that's to be expected. We've been in it a long time, we're used to it, and we just figure whatever happens next is gonna happen next.
COVID was too long, so we just decided we may as well. Life's too short. But it's been really good, so it has. It's very busy. So that's everywhere that we've gone, and we're really
President Donald Trump hosted Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and top European leaders at the White House on August 18 in a high-stakes meeting aimed at ending the Ukrainian-Russian war. The talks focused on territorial concessions, security guarantees, and plans for a possible trilateral summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin, signaling a pivotal shift in diplomatic efforts nearly 4 years into the conflict.
Donald, many thanks for having us today.
Diplomatic momentum surged in Washington as President Donald Trump welcomed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and a bloc of European leaders for urgent talks on Ukraine-Russian war.
Next steps ahead are the more complicated ones now. The path is open. You opened it last Friday. But now the way is open for complicated negotiations. And to be honest, we all would like to see a ceasefire.
The meeting followed the Trump summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska, which ended without a ceasefire. Discussions at the White House focused on territorial concession, long-term security guarantee, and the possibility of trilateral summit involving Trump, Zelensky, and Putin.
Confirmed after this productive meeting with the President and then with all our colleagues, with the partners, we confirmed that we are ready for a trilateral meeting. And if Russia proposed to President of the United States bilateral, and then we will see the result of bilateral, and then it can be the trilateral. So I said always, so Ukraine will never stop on the way to peace, and we are ready for any kind of formats, but on the level of leaders.
While no formal deal was reached, Trump signaled intent to broker direct talk between Kyiv and Moscow, while European leaders are expected to push for stronger security commitment in the coming weeks as Ukrainian braces for continued Russian aggression. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Ibrahim Said.
A humanitarian crisis has spiraled into what aid agencies and human rights groups are calling a man-made famine, with a growing number of people, including children, succumbing to hunger and malnutrition. Amid a landscape of desperation and destroyed infrastructure, community kitchens and food programs are on the front lines, fighting to keep a population of over 2 million from the brink. But as supplies dwindle and access is restricted, their efforts are proving to be a drop in a vast and empty bucket. Nancy Muthoni reports. The numbers are grim and harrowing testament to the unfolding catastrophe. The World Health Organization warns that nearly 1 in 5 children under the age of 5 in Gaza City is acutely malnourished, a number that has tripled in a little over a month.
In Gaza, our colleagues at the Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs warn that the situation is now beyond catastrophic. Amid ongoing hostilities and extreme hunger, more deaths are recorded every day. Hunger-related deaths continue to be reported, including among children.
In the face of this systemic collapse, ingenuity and resilience has given rise to a network of community kitchens by organizations like World Central Kitchen. These kitchens became the primary source of meals for many. But even these vital operations are being choked.
Partners tell us that last week in the north and the south of Gaza, more than 80 community kitchens were able to produce some 380,000 meals each day. Back in April, the daily tally of community kitchens was more than 1 million meals each day. Communities rely on hot meals once a day from these kitchens, but the amount they're able to cook remains insufficient to meet the needs of the population in Gaza.
What's happening here is more than a food shortage. The hunger is not merely a consequence of war, it is a weapon. Reporting for The ambassador will take a short break. We'll be right back with more as we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics.
Everywhere, GBS.
Vincent was critical about this painting and referred to it as a failure in some of the letters he sent to his brother Theo. What is black when it's clean and white when it's dirty? Who's your fashion icon?
My fashion icon. Julia Sunday ilibamba watu.
Yes, Julia was the best.
It was the best. And the new Mr. Ruru is tag, nakumbuka my tag was tag number 16.
Yes.
Akasema the new Mr. Ruru is tag number 16.
Favorite Kenyan meal?
Today, it's that day that I would like us just to have that conversation on monthly matters.
Let's talk of Mama Fua, who like akifanya shughuli zake hapa kule has more or less that amount.
Yeah, so on that part, I would say this. When you are doing your savings, you can have, we normally talk about having 3 buckets. So we will just talk about income, budgeting, saving, and investment. Those are the 4 areas we will look at.
Happens to those like me who are planning to retire early.
We are basically looking at our incomes. We also talk about savings and investment. So those are the 3. I will not add the 4th one, which we all shy of talking about. So I would say it's not how much I am earning, but it is how much I set aside. So
every one of us, ama most of us, tulikuwa na ile say yeah, kuna Sunday best, kuna these
Kuna
clothes,
Sunday best.
kuna these clothes, they were set aside only for Sunday. So when I was growing up, why am I feeling only confident on Sundays? Hizo siku zingine I just wear anything else. I don't feel good, but nikienda church niko smart, nimeng'ara, nasikia poa. Why can't I feel this every day? So that's why I started getting interest into fashion. Why can't I like wear that confident outfit Monday to Monday? Your confident booster you get.
You don't have to break your bank trying to look expensive, buying things from. That is another thing that is killing people, because you're seeing some trendy shit that is online and you're trying to get that, and that is gonna be hella expensive.
About fashion is not about it. You have to like buy new clothes, buy expensive things. There's some people who just wear thrifted clothes and they still look good, they still style them perfectly. It's not about buying new things, buying expensive things so that you can feel expensive. It's just a matter how you styling, because like I said before, outfits are not like just fabrics. Fabrics, like, there's a way you can just buy a cloth that's thrifted, but you'll still look good.
Funny thing, I've never worn anything that's trending. I'm sorry, but like, yeah, 'cause for real, like jorts, unless it's like something that is in my personal style. But you would find that I'm wearing it when it's not trending. Like maybe I was wearing it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or I'll be wearing it in future when I realize, oh, this look good on me. But not because I'm seeing it trending somewhere.
And you can feel confident in anything.
And you can feel confident.
It doesn't
in
have to be an
anything.
expensive piece. It doesn't have to be something imported. That timeless piece that you have, you can make it worth it.
You can make it work. Find your own style. Be your own person. Be an individual person. You'll never be able to keep up with anything unless you keep up with yourself.
Kama si hapa, utapata wapi mawaidha kama haya? If it's not here.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the bulletin. Now, Trump, European leaders rally behind direct negotiations to end the fighting in Ukraine after a day of White House meetings. President Trump, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, and a group of European leaders sounded upbeat during a White House meeting on Monday about the prospects of finding a way to end the war in Ukraine. Trump and the leaders urged Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin to begin in-person negotiations to be hosted by Trump. Zelensky quickly agreed, but Russia was non-committal.
The U.S. President Donald Trump held Monday's meeting after his summit with Putin in Alaska on Friday, where Putin called on Ukraine to cede land in the country's east in exchange for a freeze in the front line elsewhere. Ukraine has consistently said it is ready for a ceasefire but can't give up its territory.
We have possibility now to buy weapons from the United States. We are thankful for this program and this opportunity. We are thankful for Europe. They pay for this. And through NATO program, for example, Pearl and etc., we have some programs where we can have some money to finance this. And this is a part, I think, it's not a part for the war and to defend us. It also will be a part for security guarantees, to strengthen our army, to rearm Ukrainian army. This is very, very important. And it depends how much money we need to rearm. For example, the question of air defense, we spoke about it with President Trump, and I'm happy that we have now bilateral decisions and we work on it with production, American production. Nobody in Europe has so many air defense like Patriots, for example. We need it very much, and this is also about defending.
Trump and Zelensky struck a warmer tone than during a previous Oval Office encounter, which devolved into a televised showdown that alarmed European allies.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
Trump stated that the U.S. will be involved in some capacity, alluding to a NATO-like arrangement led by Europe.
The war is going to end. When it ends, I can't tell you, but the war is going to end, and this gentleman wants it to end, and Vladimir Putin wants it to end. I think the whole world is tired of it, and we're going to get it ended. It was, you know, I've done 6 wars. I've ended 6 wars, and I thought this maybe would be the easiest one, and it's not the easiest one. It's a tough one. A lot of reasons for it. And they'll be talking about it for a long time, but they'll be talking about the others. Look, India, Pakistan, we're talking about The big places, when you look at, you just take a look at some of these wars. You go to Africa and take a look at that. Rwanda and the Congo, Republic of the Congo. That's been going on for 31 years. And so we've done a total of 6, and we really have 6, not including the fact that we obliterated, and it turned out to be a total obliteration, the nuclear, as you said, the future nuclear capability of Iran. And this one, I think we're going to get solved also. I feel confident we're going to get it solved.
A host of European leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, joined Zelensky on his White House visit.
Thank you very much for your efforts, personal efforts to stop killings and stop this war. Thank you. And using this opportunity, many thanks to your wife, First Lady of the United States. She sent a letter to Putin about our children, adopted children, and my wife, First Lady of Ukraine. She gave the letter. It's not to you, to your wife.
Davis Karani for GBS News.
The Prince of Wales is set to move to a new residence this year at Kensington Palace Forest Lodge in Windsor Park. This is according to their spokesman. Prince William and Princess Catherine will move to the new apartment alongside their children, George, Charlotte, and Louise. Reports have said that Forest Lodge has been privately sponsored by Prince and Princess with no additional cost to the taxpayer.
From London, England, the Kensington Palace has confirmed stunning news in Britain that the Prince of Wales is set to move to a new royal palace this year. Both insiders of the royal family and the public are in disbelief. 8-bedroom property at the Kensington Palace, Windsor Park, just a short distance from their current home at Adelaide Cottage, where they have lived since August 2022. It's not just for comfort, but with a significant symbolism. Sources say the shift is a decision that reflects both personal and strategic priority, the future of the monarchy. Moreover, the news sparked excitement and speculation on what the change signaled about King Charles III's plan and whether it is preparing Prince William and Princess Catherine for their eventual destiny as the King and Queen of England. It is worth noting that their children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, who will move alongside their parents, continue going to school at the Lambrook School, located near their home. According to the family spokesperson, the new property has cost the taxpayer nothing, being privately sponsored by the Prince and the Princess. The new property is worth 16 million euros. However, the royal couple will keep their current residences at Anma Hall in Norfolk and apartment 1A at Kensington Palace. Victor Jin, the ambassador.
Thank you, Victor, for that report. Tensions remain high in the Middle East after a wave of airstrikes and renewed concerns over Iran's nuclear program. But today, there's a potential opening for diplomacy. Iran's foreign ministry says the country is ready to limit its nuclear activities if international sanctions are lifted. The statement comes just weeks after a major military escalation and fresh warnings from the UN's nuclear watchdog. Here's more on what could be the start of a new round of negotiations.
Iran says it's ready to limit its nuclear program again if international sanctions are lifted. Foreign Minister spokesman Ismail Bagay pointed to the 2015 deal as a model, calling the current sanctions unfair.
This is not something new. We have said that to build confidence about the peaceful nature of our nuclear program, we are ready to take a series of actions, provided that the unfair sanctions are lifted.
His comments come just weeks after US and Israeli airstrikes hit Iranian nuclear sites, following an International Atomic Energy Agency report accusing Iran of breaching its nuclear commitments. The brief but intense conflict marked a sharp escalation in regional tensions. Despite the fallout, Iran says the talks with the International Atomic Energy Agency will resume in the coming days.
The talks will continue, and probably within the upcoming days, a new round of talks between Iran and the IAEA will be held.
The hope now is that diplomacy can cool the crisis and bring both sides to the negotiating table. Elvis Muyodi, GBS News.
And now, starvation deaths are climbing daily in Gaza as Israel's 22-month blockade and relentless attacks drive a man-made famine into homes and tents. As of August 17, the unknown number of people who have starved to death in Gaza has reached at least 263 people, including 112 children. The latest Israel attack kills at least 26 in Gaza as Humans approves ceasefire proposal. Hamas says it has informed mediators that it has approved a proposal for a Gaza ceasefire deal, which would include a 60-day truce. Here's more.
Israeli strikes are constant and relentless, targeting residential areas across the Strip. One of the strikes hit Gaza City neighborhood, injuring mostly children, leaving wounded patients too young to understand war. Despite international condemnation, Israel is threatening to seize Gaza City. With nearly 1 million residents, it's the largest in the Strip. In the past week, attacks have leveled hundreds of homes there. Many say they will resist any order forcing them to leave.
I've already decided and I've already told my family that we're not going anywhere. We are dying here. If we die, we will die here. Our loved ones are gone. Our people, our homeland, everything is gone. Everyone stands in silence watching.
With Israel severely limiting deliveries of food, water, and medicine, humanitarian aid drops are the only way some manage to feed their families. Crowds scramble in Del Bola hoping to get supplies.
This is aerial humiliation. An aid package is filled with around 12 boxes and more than 1,000 people rush to it. They crush each other and it's not enough for a single family. People are fighting. There are 10 fights for each package. People are dying.
On his way to get aid, this boy was shot in the leg by Israeli forces. He managed to get a bottle of oil and made sure he carried it back. The UN says the situation in Gaza is beyond catastrophic. Nearly 2 years into the war, many Palestinians in Gaza say they don't know where to run or where to go. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Paul Elmina.
And that's all for today with me, your Ambassador Nancy Muthoni on the Ambassador 1 p.m. Follow all of our stories at GBS TV Africa. It's updated throughout the day as we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. Thank you for your time and company.